Imagine this. It is 5 in the morning. A crowd of 2,000 people surges forward. The doors collapse. A man falls. People keep pushing. They keep climbing over him. And when he dies, some shoppers actually complain that the store is closing because they had waited all night. This is not a metaphor. This happened. And it was not an accident. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second. Follow, like, and share if you want more deep dives that cut through the noise. Now, let us begin. Black Friday is sold to you as a fun shopping day, a day of bargains, a day where retailers finally move from the red into the black. That story is a lie, a well-crafted corporate invention. The real history of Black Friday is far darker. It begins with a national economic crisis, grows through labor conflict and police chaos, and evolves into the violence and exploitation we see today. This is the real story that retailers hope you never learn. To understand the truth, you need to start in the year 1869. Two speculators, Jay Gould and James Fisk, tried to corner the entire United States gold market. They used political connections, manipulated prices, and created a national panic. The stock market collapsed, foreign trade stopped, thousands of people went bankrupt in a single day. That day became known as Black Friday, not because of profits, because of devastation. The pattern begins here. A small group manufactures chaos. Everyone else pays the price. Fast forward to the 1950s. The term Black Friday appears again, but still not for shopping. The first modern use came from factory managers who were furious at the number of workers who called in sick the day after Thanksgiving. They called it a crisis of absenteeism. They literally described it as second only to the plague. At the same time, police in Philadelphia used the term Black Friday to describe something else: chaos. Every year, massive crowds came into the city for early shopping and for the Army and Navy football game. Traffic collapsed, shops were flooded, accidents increased. The police department was stretched to breaking point. To them, Black Friday meant mayhem and disorder. Still no mention of shopping deals, still no mention of profits, just chaos. Retailers hated the term Black Friday because of its negative meaning. They even tried to rename it Big Friday. It failed. So they did something clever. They rewrote the story. In the 1980s, the industry invented a brand new explanation. They claimed that Black Friday was the day when shops finally moved their finances from the red into the black. It sounded clean, positive, professional. It was also completely false. This new narrative was a public relations fabrication, but it worked. It spread across the country, and suddenly the chaos of Black Friday looked like a celebration of success. The truth had been buried under marketing. Now we return to the moment I described at the start. 2,000 people outside a store in New York. The doors break, a man named Yidmi Damour falls and is crushed to death. The most disturbing part is what happened next. Shoppers kept moving. They kept stepping over him. They became angry when staff tried to close the store. When a society becomes so obsessed with consumption that a human life becomes an inconvenience, something has gone very wrong. And it was not an isolated case. Black Friday has seen stampedes, shootings, fights, assaults, people pepper spraying children to get discounted televisions, and customers walking past dying strangers on the floor. This is the natural result of manufactured scarcity. Retailers create urgency. Urgency creates frenzy. Frenzy creates violence. If shoppers pay with chaos, workers pay with their lives, their safety, and their well-being. As retailers pushed sales earlier and earlier, Thanksgiving itself was consumed. Employees were dragged back into work on a day meant for family. The practice became known as Gray Thursday. All for sales that do not even create new profit, according to analysis. It simply spreads the same spending over more hours, while exhausting staff and damaging morale. Workers describe Black Friday as frantic, understaffed, and abusive. There are countless stories of employees being pushed, hit, screamed at, injured, and sometimes placed directly in harm's way. The workers stand between corporate marketing and the desperate crowds it creates. They carry the risk, but not the reward. You might think this is an American problem. It is not. When Black Friday arrived in the United Kingdom around 2010, the chaos arrived with it. Shops saw brawls, stampedes, and customers fighting over discounted televisions. Police were called to multiple locations across the country. One chief constable described the disorder as totally predictable. The moment the retail strategy arrived, the behavior arrived. You cannot separate the two. In recent years, the backlash has grown. Workers in Amazon warehouses, including here in have staged strikes timed deliberately on Black Friday. Unions across several countries have joined forces under the banner Make Amazon Pay. After decades of chaos, workers are beginning to push back. The conflict that began in 1951 with workers calling in sick has evolved into a global movement demanding fair treatment. When you strip away the marketing, the music, the glossy adverts, and the false red to black story, you're left with a simple truth. Black Friday has always been about calamity. It has always been about chaos. It has always involved exploitation at some level. The modern shopping day is simply the latest form. It did not become dark, it started dark, and it has stayed that way. If you want more deep dives that expose the real stories behind everyday culture, follow, like, and share. Your support helps reach more people and brings more hidden histories into the light.